One of the interesting things about being an attorney in the assisted reproductive technology space is that most of my clients, especially if they're not a single man or same-sex couple, they never imagined talking to a lawyer when they were considering growing their family or having a baby. So the question becomes, what happens when you're not able to get pregnant in the conventional way that you may have thought you'd be able to? So let's talk about the alternatives to gestational surrogacy for infertile couples. Hello, my name is Corlandos Scott, and I'm an attorney in the assisted reproductive technologies field. It's a mouthful, but it really just boils down to the fact that I help people grow their family through surrogacy, egg donation, sperm donation, and all that kind of thing. And I handle the legal paperwork. So in this episode, outside of the realm of surrogacy, we're going to talk about common infertility treatments as well as other available options. Let's dive right in. Now, I understand most people have an idea of how they want to grow their family, and when it doesn't work out the way that you thought it should or the way that you planned it, it can be disheartening. But not having the ability to grow your family the way you thought it would shouldn't keep you from exploring your other options. So let's talk about some of those alternatives. Yes, gestational surrogacy is one of the alternatives that works like an exception to the rule, and the rule being what you would call traditional family building. But is there an exception to that exception? Of course there is. So let's talk about the first thing that people try before most people land on the alternative of surrogacy, and that's fertility treatment for themselves. Now, this is usually, like I say, the first option that couples explore when they wish to have children or build their family and run into infertility issues. These fertility drugs, they allow couples to still proceed with the traditional way of family building, and they do that first by finding out what's causing the difficulties. And they do that with the help of a fertility doctor, or reproductive endocrinologist, as they like to be called. So in this process, the RE examines either or both of the parties just to see what the cause of the problem is. And once that happens, the RE will then prescribe medication to treat what the issue is. Depending on what the problem is, there may be fertility medication to solve it. There's fertility medication to increase sperm count, increase sperm quality. There's medication that can stimulate ovulation. There's even medication that can thicken the uterine lining and prepare it, or better prepare it, to receive an embryo. At the end of the day, there's fertility medication that the RE can use to help you do your very best to overcome any problems that you may have in dealing with infertility. Now, if that doesn't work, then we can move on to the next phase of assisted reproductive technologies, and we can talk about medical procedures. And you've probably heard of these things: IVF, or in vitro fertilization. In addition to IVF, there's ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. There's also IUI, or intrauterine insemination. You've got assisted hatching. You also have my favorite acronym, GIFT, which is gamete intrafallopian transfer. And what would a GIFT be without a ZIFT? Yes, you heard me right. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. So between the fertility medication treatment and the medical procedures, you're able to have options outside of surrogacy for yourself. Now, before we talk about other available options, if you're enjoying this video, do me a favor, just click the like button. Yeah, that lets YouTube know that, somebody likes it. I may want to share it with another person. So go ahead, be a pal, click like. All right, let's talk about other available options. And here's where we get into gamete donation. Now, gamete donation, gamete, the word is just a fancy word that means genetic stuff, like sperm and eggs. So you have the option of having sperm or eggs donated to you, which provides a great opportunity to still have a genetic connection with the child. So with a gamete donation, we have sperm donation, egg donation, or even the combination of the two, embryo donation. And if you want to be more up to speed on any of those, just make sure you definitely check out the other videos on my channel, because we certainly cover all three of those in great detail. Of course, we can't end a video like this without talking about the other option, which is adoption. Now, some people include embryo adoption into this category, but really the line between embryo donation and embryo adoption is kind of blurred, and it's almost semantic, because embryo donation and embryo adoption both involve having embryos that were created by someone else given to you. But what about the other forms of adoption? You know, like the original form of adoption, adopting a child that has already been born. There's the option of private domestic adoption. Now, some people do find the private domestic adoption route to be expensive. It's typically done through an agency, but that agency will help guide you through the adoption process. There's also international adoption, and many families pursue this option just to widen their search. Also, this appeals to a lot of people who would like to add diversity to their family and adopt a child of a different ethnic heritage or different racial background. One of the roadblocks or speed bumps to this process can be overcoming the citizenship hurdle and adopting a child out of country and bringing the child back into country. But again, an agency who specializes in this can help you work through those things. There's also foster care, and this involves a sort of adopting of children who are currently under the custody of the state or their wards of state. This is an amazing option for children who otherwise wouldn't be able to live with a family. So as you see, there's more than one way to grow your family, even if that's outside of surrogacy. So make sure that if you're looking to grow your family, that you explore all of your options. But if you explore all of your options and you come right back to surrogacy, then I have something for you. It's called my Surrogacy Secrets training. And in that training, I walk you through case studies of clients of mine, and I show you where they were successful, where they may have been unsuccessful, and I help you understand exactly what you need to have a successful surrogacy journey that doesn't make you lose sleep, time, or money. If you want that, just make sure you click the link below and I'll get it to you for free.